Hello, welcome to the live this morning. We have like a, oh, that's why I had it playing on the other screen. Okay, so here's some updates on the case, and then I wanted to talk about the timeline of Elijah's, um, leading up to Elijah's disappearance and then after, and hey, Darkside. Um, yeah, So let me go ahead and zoom in on this. So this was yesterday. Two Rivers Police Department. Elijah Vu has not been found. Over the last several days, we conducted more searches, primarily of rural areas. Searches have been conducted at the landfill have been completed. So, i.e., they're done searching the landfill. They're no longer there. So, um, further searches were conducted on the West Twin River by the DNR, volunteers from local law enforcement, fire, state, and federal agencies, in addition to students from our local technical colleges, conducted a large-scale search yesterday. Thank you to all of the property owners for their cooperation. We'd also like to thank all of those donated food, beverages for the search efforts. We continue to search areas with law enforcement personnel, drones, dogs, and as we continue to follow up on all the tips and leads reported to the tip line at 844-267-6648 or via Manitowoc CO Crime Stoppers P3 app. We continue to seek out video from February 19th between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. from homeowners and businesses where the vehicle of interest from our last press release may be seen. The vehicle is a 1997 four-door Nissan Altima, beige in color, bearing Wisconsin registration beginning with A and ending with O. I was reading, taking a pause from this. Hey, Under Your Scars. I was reading in the group that I'm in, that gives like a lot of different theories and stuff, and somebody mentioned an interesting theory about the car that I'm going to talk about when I'm done reading this. So hold tight with that. Due to the duration of the hours requested to be reviewed, we are asking the public beyond the greater Two Rivers area, adjacent counties, to review their videos as well. So if you're in the Two Rivers area, Two Rivers, Manitowoc, Green Bay, I would honestly like all the way up to maybe Madison. Look at if you live from the point of Madison back, I would consider even Milwaukee area. Please use the following link to complete a short informational form and upload the video, and there is the form. If you experience technical difficulties or do not have access to upload your video, please call the tip line. Again, that is 844-267-6648. On March 7th, 2024, Katrina Barr appeared in the Manitowoc County Circuit Court for her primary hearing, which we saw. Prior to the hearing, an amendment was made to the criminal complaint in this case and was filed by the Manitowoc County District Attorney's Office. The amendment affected the charge of party to a crime, neglect of a child, against Barr to charge of a party to the crime, chronic child neglect of a child. So basically, she went from your secondary to this crime because you're the mom and you left it with this guy who lost your kid too. You are directly involved in this, and it's pretty serious. Both Jesse Vong and Katrina Barr's pre-Miller I can't say that word. Hearings were adjourned on Thursday, March 14th. So that's when the next appearance will be, is on March 14th. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention. The community support we have received has been amazing as we continue to look for Elijah. Recently, a local group began decorating downtown light poles with blue and green ribbons in support of the efforts to find Elijah. We encourage all of you to do the same in addition to your tips and search efforts. We appreciate everyone's concern, dedication, and assistance in trying to locate Elijah. And then signed by the captain of the Two Rivers Police Department, Andrew Ratz. So, all right. So, hey, Robin, welcome. So that's the update so far. So, like I said, they stopped searching the dump, but they're still doing searches around the area, and they're asking people that if you've seen, and I'll share this car. If you've seen this car between the hours of 2 and 9 p.m. on, what was it, the 18th or the 19th, I believe they said, to please let them know. And if you have video of seeing this car. Now, here's what I've learned in the group about this car. So in the initial report, it was said that on the 14th, Katrina was driving to meet up with Jesse at his apartment early in the morning. Was it the 14th? Let me double check, but actually I should see it in this timeline. Yeah, the 14th. It was on the 13th when he originally, but because it happened after midnight, it turned into the 14th. So, she asked him, she texted him while she was over there, because he said, turn your headlights off. So one of the things that she texted back was, how do you turn them off on this thing? And somebody mentioned, why would she say it like that? If that was, so the theory is that she probably was using Jesse's car. So she was probably driving Jesse's car because she's from the Wisconsin Dells area. That's a little bit of a drive. So she probably was borrowing his car that week. And that's how she was coming and going from his place and wherever else. So one person thought, well, maybe Jesse borrowed this car, which I initially said last live, is that this car had to have been involved somehow. They must have found some sort of traces of Elijah in the car. So the one theory that's going out there is that Jesse used this car between the hours of 2 and 9 p.m., borrowed it from like a neighbor to do something and dispose of Elijah or drop him off somewhere or whatever. So, and the reason why the police department wants to know if anyone's seen the car during those times, has any proof, like videos or whatever, the businesses in the area, is so that they have an area where they can pinpoint and say, we can search this area and around this area. Yeah, no, the neighbor owns this car. It is not owned by Jesse or Katrina. Like I said, that's the theory that is going around. And I think that theory makes sense because, like I said, in the initial report, she sends him text messages the morning of the 14th and says, how do you turn the headlights off on this thing, or something like that. And that indicates to me that that's not a car that she's used to, that she doesn't know how to do that with on that car. So it's probably she was borrowing it from Jesse because she was asking Jesse, like, how do you do that? So that's my thoughts on that, on the car. And now I want to open up this, because this is the timeline of everything that was happening. Somebody in the group who's anonymous. I don't know their name to give them credit, but somebody in the group posted this very coherent timeline from what we know that's happened to Elijah. So this is around, so it starts off at around Thanksgiving. Katrina starts discussing Elijah's behavior issues with Jesse, and he tells her that she needs to try harder to stop the behavior, according to Katrina's statements. So everything in yellow is according to Katrina's statements. Everything in blue is according to facts that we know are like from text messages and stuff. And then everything in purple is Facebook. And then everything in green is according to Jesse's statements. So, and then red is confirmed by severance. I can't say words today. Severance. Okay. I can't say it now. Okay, I need to calm my brain down a little bit. Okay. It's like, according to, right. So, Elijah starts going to stay at Jesse without her, according to Katrina's statement, not consecutively. So this was in January, and that's according to Katrina. So we don't know if that's fact or not. We just know that according to her statements, around January, that's when Elijah started staying with Jesse for like a week period of time, spanning over, By 2:12, Katrina drops Eli off with Jesse in Fond du Lac, according to her statement. 2:13, at 9:30 p.m., Katrina and Jesse begin discussing Katrina coming to Jesse's apartment for sex. Jesse says that Katrina cannot see Elijah when she gets to the apartment, and that Jesse can be placed in the bedroom, or Elijah can be placed in the bedroom while they have sex. Bathroom, according to text messages. Katrina, and then at 10:12 that day, Katrina messages Jesse that Ilana can sleep in the car. I guess that's her daughter, who's a 5-year-old, autistic, and that's where the second charge of child neglect and chronic child abuse come in, because she left her 5-year-old daughter in her car in like 25-degree weather at like 3 a.m. so she can go have sex with Jesse. 11:45 p.m., Jesse says that Elijah will be put in the living room and says Katrina will need to be quiet walking through. Jesse asks Katrina to send him her location so he knows when to put Elijah to sleep. So he's probably still awake. They discuss Katrina stopping at Quick Trip in Manitowoc while on the way. And then here's a ping at 2:27 a.m. Katrina's phone arrives in Two Rivers. And then at 2:35 a.m., Katrina asks Jesse if there's a way to completely turn off his headlights. See, so that's why I think that she was borrowing Jesse's car. So I think, like I said, I don't know how exactly she dropped off Elijah, but I think that's what happened is when she dropped off Elijah, she then picked up Jesse's car and then was using Jesse's car from then on out. And that's how she was getting back and forth. So whatever happened to Elijah, I kind of feel like Katrina was probably there, but she wasn't there in taking care of Elijah, if you know what I mean, like disposing of him, if that's what happened. We don't know what happened to Elijah yet. Jesse responds, no, not completely. Katrina says that she cannot find Elena, I'm not sure how to say that, cell phone, but a cop just passed by, so I want to make sure she's good. Let me find her phone quick, because I need to have some type of sound for her, because this 5-year-old child is autistic, and she needs noise, probably to comfort her. Jesse says, probably thinks someone is warming up. Katrina responds, not worth the risk. I'll leave it off for a bit, then turn it on again. Jesse responds, okay. So basically they're saying that she's going to leave her car off in the winter time, in the cold, with her 5-year-old daughter. Yep. Okay, 2:40 a.m. Katrina questions whether to leave her phone on mute. She says it should stay warm for a bit, right? The car, now that it's turned off. Jesse responds, yeah, it will. It won't. I don't know, like, I traveled a lot in my life, and when I was younger, I used to sleep in my car at rest stops when I was making long travels. I didn't do the whole hotel thing because I was young and I could do that, right? It didn't, like, it's part of the adventure. And I was traveling to Buffalo in December once, and not December. It was winter time, and I remember it was snowing, and I was in Ohio, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I pulled over at a rest stop, and I thought the same thing because my heater was blasting, and I thought, well, I'm going to turn off my car to save gas, and it should stay warm while I take a nap. And it didn't. Like, almost within 10 minutes of turning the car off, the cold creeped in. So, yeah. I mean, and I was an adult, so it wasn't like a child, and I had a blanket with me, and so I was fine. But I can't imagine doing that to a small child. Just abandoning them in the car, not really, I mean, explaining why you're going to be getting in the car at like midnight and driving hours to a boyfriend's house, and then your mom just like leaves you in the car like that. Like, come on. All right, so all right, so at 3:13 a.m., trigger warning, by the way, a photograph is taken, and GPS shows that the location is the address that Jesse lives at in Mishicot, in Two Rivers. The photo is of Elijah lying down on a bed. Elijah had a blindfold over his eyes, appears to have bruising on his jawline and neck on the left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm. Then at 4:12 a.m., so almost an hour later, photo is deleted. Katrina confirmed that she took the picture and later deleted it. And then at 4:30 a.m., Katrina's phone leaves Two Rivers. So that's when she left Two Rivers and they headed back to the Wisconsin Dells. So the little girl has been out in the car for about a little over an hour and a half, it looks like. According to the National Weather Service, the low temperature in Two Rivers on 2/14 was 27 degrees Fahrenheit and the high was 36 degrees. On 2/15 at 8:24 p.m., there's a photo of Elijah standing in the corner in diaper only. Hands appear to be in a praying position, and the diaper looks full. It appears to be taken at Jesse's apartment. And this was a picture that was sent through Facebook Messenger to Katrina, or to Katrina from Jesse. So that was 2:15. Just want to make sure. Yeah. All right. So that tells us that photo with the boy, with Elijah being blindfolded and all that, he wasn't dead yet. He was still alive, because now we have a picture of him. And if you guys read the report or listen to the last live I did, you know that the reason why he was praying like that is because there were 4 rules that Jesse was trying to implicate onto Elijah, and one of them was praying. Because remember, the only reason why Elijah is in Jesse's care is because Katrina wanted him to teach him how to be a man and to discipline him. On 2/16, photo of Jesse and Elijah at an auto shop where Jesse is getting an interlock installed in a vehicle. According to the shop owner, persons are Jesse and Elijah, but there has been no official confirmation. And there's an actual photo that I can show you guys real quick of the video surveillance of Jesse and Elijah. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. I thought to grab it, but I didn't grab it. I should have grabbed it. Boo, boo, boo. Scroll, scroll, scroll. There it is. All right, let me save. Let me switch. That's a good question, Nan's Life. I don't understand why she did that either. It doesn't make any sense to me, other than one person's theory was that maybe they were going to try to set up some sort of kidnapping scenario. Here's the photo, or here's the surveillance where that's Jesse, and then this is Elijah. It kind of looks like Elijah's not happy or crying a little bit, it looks like. To me, that's how it appears, but it's hard to tell. The photo's kind of granulated and you can't really see. This is a screenshot, so the photo or the video they have is probably a lot better, but this is what we have. So we know, though, for certainty that Elijah is still alive at this point. So he's still alive by 2/16. Or by, where is it? Right here. Yeah, 2/16. So at between 6 and 7 p.m., Katrina leaves Wisconsin Dells and arrives in Two Rivers late at night, according to her statement. By 11 p.m., she returns to the city of Manitowoc, and this is according to pinging of her phone. And then at 11:15, she calls Jesse's phone and went to a Quick Trip to purchase items, and this is confirmed. So we know by phone records and video surveillance. By 2:16 unknown time, Katrina sees Elijah on the couch at Jesse's house and says she was tired, and this is according to her statement. So that was the day that she lied about actually being in Two Rivers. She said this whole time, before all this stuff started coming out, she said she hadn't seen or been in the area in like a week, and then all of this stuff started coming out. So we know she was lying about that. 2:16, 11:21 Katrina tells Jesse, put him to sleep. Jesse responds, okay, and these are according to text messages. Around 2:17, around midnight, Katrina arrives at Jesse's apartment again. So this is like the third time in this week that she's met up with Jesse. And she claims she had zero interaction with Elijah in this whole time. Around 12:30 a.m., Katrina and Jesse's phone moved to the city of Manitowoc. On the 17th at 2:50 a.m., Jesse enters the Saucy's bar in Manitowoc. He's alone, confirmed by the bar patron. And then Jesse and Katrina's phones are separate for about an hour. So they, for whatever reasons, they went to the Manitowoc area, and then they just went two separate directions. Jesse goes to a bar, and Katrina, we don't know, I guess. Or they haven't released it yet. 2:17, after Katrina and Jesse separated, Katrina travels to a Quick Trip located in Manitowoc.
She is seen in the driver's seat of the vehicle. There is no child in the car, confirmed by the video. So we don't know where Elijah's at. By 2:17 at 1:45 a.m., Katrina makes purchases inside of the Quick Trip, which is confirmed. By 2:17, 1:55 a.m., Katrina's phone travels to Jesse's location, which was at the bar, and they return back to Jesse's apartment in Two Rivers, according to phone records. So for whatever reason, Jesse goes to the bar and then just hangs out at a bar while Katrina goes to Quick Trip, picks up some stuff, and then heads back to the bar to pick him up. Isn't that weird? Katrina's phone travels to Jesse's location. They return back to Jesse's apartment in Two Rivers. And then at 5 a.m., according to her phone, Katrina leaves Two Rivers. Now, this is confirmed, or I guess it's not confirmed 100%, but this is what we know of, is that the daughter was being cared for by somebody in the Wisconsin Dells area. So that's why she wasn't in the area. And on 2/16, Elijah was in Two Rivers and was supposed to be under the care of Jesse and Katrina. Law enforcement has not been able to find anyone other than Jesse or Katrina who cared for him on the 16th and 17th. So we can, and I hate to say assume, but we can assume that either Elijah was in the car sleeping while they were driving around and we just didn't see it in the video surveillance, or he was at the apartment by himself. Because we don't have anybody, unless somebody who hasn't stepped forward yet has said, no, I was watching him, but nobody has. On 2/17 at 6:39 p.m. and 6:49 p.m., there are text messages from Jesse to Katrina in which Jesse tells her that he is angry. So this is later that day after she leaves Two Rivers, that he is angry that Elijah overfilled his diaper with poop and pee and that he gave Elijah a cold shower. Like, that's Elijah's fault. He's 3. You know, how's that his fault? At 2:18, 4:36 a.m., Jesse tells Katrina, I told you to trust me. I am making sure he hates me and being here. Katrina replies, I don't want him to hate you, just fear you. Jesse states, it's okay. Someone had to be the bad person. Katrina responds, I know, but either way, he can fear you and respect you. Jesse says, he did fear me, but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me. And these were according to text messages they sent to each other. So that could tell us that Elijah might still be alive if that's the outcome of this case. On to 2:18, that he might be still in their care. Because we haven't gone to when he's been missing yet. He's kind of speaking in the past tense too. I know, but either way, he can fear you and respect you. He did fear me, but he didn't respect me. That kind of is in past tense, like he did fear me. I don't know if that's a slip where he's basically like, well, now he's respecting me because I took care of him. I don't know. At 2:19 unknown time, Jesse admits that at some point during the day, he made Elijah stand for 2 to 3 hours. This was part of his punishments that he would do to Elijah, was make him stand in one spot. And if he sat down, then he would threaten him, basically, with a cold shower. Because, yeah, I guess, well, I mean, nobody wants a cold shower. It's a shock to the system. Between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., Jesse changes Elijah's diaper before Elijah went to bed, according to his statement. And I read somewhere that Jesse admitted that he only changed Elijah's diaper once a day. So that's awful.
2:19, Jesse says that he watched the movie Ready Player One after he states that Elijah did not watch the movie because he was putting him in punishment. And that's where, like I said, he stands there for 2 or 3 hours. Unknown time on the 19th, Jesse consumed 3 Budweiser beers and 1 clozapam tablet. And then at 7 a.m. the next day, this is the day where Elijah goes missing. Jesse wakes up and helps his son ready for school. During this time, he observes Elijah sleeping on the futon in the living room. He locks the door apartment and takes his son to the bus stop. This is according to Jesse's statements that morning. He comes back at 8 a.m., wakes Elijah up, and says they ate breakfast. He says Elijah ate cereal with no milk. Jesse then brings Elijah into the bedroom with him and tells Elijah to stand and pray near the foot of the bed. He states he did not change Elijah's diaper because he was too tired. And Jesse says he falls asleep. So from 8 a.m. to probably like 8:30, let's say, he stands this 3-year-old child, at the foot of his bed and says, stand there and pray. And then he supposedly falls back to sleep. Because then at 11 a.m., he wakes up and finds that Elijah is gone. 10:59 a.m. is when he calls to report Elijah missing. So he literally wakes up. I've heard that his child is like a teenager age, so probably like 14 or 15. And I'm not sure if he was at the house the whole entire time. I'm not sure if he has a mother figure, a guardian that he goes to. I don't know. That is a good question, though, Robin. That's something I'm definitely going to be looking into. And then the detectives from Two River Police Department speak to him at the residence. He consents to meeting with law enforcement and consents to an interview. Unknown items are bagged and taken by police. A dinosaur shoe that resembles Elijah is found, but has not been confirmed to be his at this time. And then later that day, Jesse is taken into custody. Katrina is taken into custody at 3 a.m. And then they start searching the landfill on 222. So that's the timeline that we know it so far. Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot other than in this group that I'm in. It's called the Elijah Vu discussion. Find Elijah Vu discussion. And a lot of people post a lot of really interesting things and theories. And one of the things that they posted was an article. Let me bring it up. About Jesse, which a theory that they have is that so one theory that they have is that Jesse was sex trafficking Katrina, and that was their main word I'm trying to like. That's their main thing in their relationship is that he was sex trafficking her. So kind of like a pimp, basically. He was pimping her out. And that they've known each other for years by that. I don't know. They haven't really confirmed nor denied. I know that somebody who claims to be her brother is in the group, and he makes comments about how Jesse was sex trafficking Katrina and how Katrina is a victim of that, which, I mean, it's possible. He does, like in this article says, he does have a conspiracy to commit, but it was dropped. So we're learning more about the history of Jesse Vang. Jesse Vang was babysitting Elijah on the 20th and reported the boy missing according to criminal complaint. Vang is charged with neglecting a child, but is not charged with Vu's disappearance because we don't have any proof yet of something like, we don't have anything yet. We don't know what happened to him, unfortunately. And that's part of the reason why they haven't charged him with anything like that yet. Note, the following information is disturbing, like everything in this case. Vang was charged in Outagamie County in 2016 with conspiracy to commit human trafficking and sexual assault. Those charges were later dismissed. But here's some of what the complaint says. The victim was a woman. 2 women were at a party in Appleton using meth and heroin and later went to a hotel. The victim used more drugs at the hotel, was left alone with the 2 men, and was sexually assaulted. The victim was told she would take to Minnesota and would not be her own person anymore. The victim feared she would be forced to work in a sex trade, and the other women eventually returned, and the 2 women got away to another hotel where they stayed in the bathroom, and somebody must have called the police. A search warrant says that about a month and a half later, the victim told police she no longer wanted the sexual assault investigated. Jesse Vang was charged anyway with conspiracy to commit human trafficking and sexual assault, but the court documents say the charges were dismissed after a federal indictment against Vang. They found no federal human trafficking or sex charges against Vang. He was federally indicted on conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine, sentenced to federal prison and then probation. There was one result that says that federal inmate was released on February of 2022. The story is about the sum of Vang's history. The search for Elijah Vu continues, and Jesse Vang has not been charged in Elijah's disappearance. But he has been charged with neglecting a child, and he does not have any attorney in the neglecting a child case to reach out for comment. Yeah, he doesn't have an attorney yet. He was asking for one in his last court appearance, but the judge says that it's going to take a couple of weeks before he can get assigned an attorney. So right now he's not being represented by anybody. Hey, Mary. Hey, Dozer. So, and then I was going to talk about some of the family, but I decided to switch to the timeline talk. Because I want to find out more about Katrina. Her mom said a lot of very interesting things during the bond hearing that they had when she wrote her letter, and I want to try to find those records or proof of those things before I go more into the family, like more into her history. But I did want to bring up Jesse's history because, like I said, that is an active theory, is that Katrina could have been possibly trafficked by Jesse, and that could have been what happened to Elijah. But there's no proof of that. So none of this is, it's all just talk. It's just theories. I have no proof of guilt on either party of what happened to Elijah. So I just want to also say that I'm a firm believer in innocent until proven guilty. And so far, there's, I mean, to be honest with you, it's a lot of circumstantial stuff. Nothing has really proved what happened to Elijah. So it's unfair for me to say that these 2 people are guilty of anything other than child abuse, which they have already been charged with. So, but I will mention that last live I talked about how one of the theories is that, or one of the people, or a lot of the people are asking, where's his father? Where's Elijah's father? Well, let me share this. So this is a screenshot I took from the group.
Public records, so please don't come at me. Everyone is concerned about the boyfriend caregiver, and multiple people have mentioned looking into the registered sex offenders in our community. I do not disagree, nor am I trying to take away from any of those thoughts. However, what happened? What about the offenders that are not registered? This specific person is fighting 3 open cases and lives in the same building with a little Elijah that went missing. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong screenshot, but that's an interesting theory, right? So, like, there are sex offenders that live in that building, and there's a few of them that had open cases. That's not the screenshot I wanted, though. I must not have put it in my Discord. I'll have to find it later. Basically, Elijah's dad is in prison right now. He's been in prison for a little bit, so there's no way that he had anything to do as far as directly had anything to do with his disappearance that we know of. So I don't know what happened to that screenshot I had. I thought I was super organized today, and then that just like so that'll show me. But anyway, that's basically what I have today. I'm gonna go live for more information as I find it. And I'm gonna end it with this picture right here of Elijah, and ask again that if anybody who lives in that area or in Wisconsin can keep an eye out for him. He's 3 feet tall, 45 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He is of, I guess, of Asian descent. If anybody has any information or any clues or any tips, please call 844-267-6648. Anything and everything. If you think you know something and you're like, no, it's stupid, it's not gonna, you still tell them, because every little bit of information can help in a case like this. He's 3 years old and just did not deserve this at all. And if everyone who prays can pray for him, I know one of the things that they're doing is they're, like what Two Rivers says, they're putting up like, was it green and blue like ribbons and stuff around Two Rivers in honor of him. So if anybody has any information, please do reach out. He seemed like a really sweet little boy. Like, I don't understand how anybody could hurt a child, much less their own child. But yeah, they're making pictures like this with him, and because of the shoe that they found that had a dinosaur on it, so they're saying they're assuming that he probably did. He was a little boy, loved dinosaurs, but yeah. So thank you for listening, and yeah, let's just if you live in the area, especially, please put out the information to look for him. If you can, join the searches that they have going on. And yeah, hopefully they find this little boy and they bring him home soon. Right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.